that looks like just any old regular corporate cringe. A bunch of people in a meeting that shouldn't be a meeting but should be an email, writing down their feels, putting it on the window in the meeting room with the glass walls, and we're all coming together and we're one big happy company family, which just looks like any other old regular corporate cringe that I show, except it's Gary Vaynerchuk's office. I've been thinking about making this video for a very, very, very long time. In fact, Gary V is one of the main reasons I have this channel. When I was let go from my job and I was trying to figure out how to work for myself and just do it on my own, I was walking my dogs, listening to his book. I'm fully on board with those ideas. And he's on my list of people that I've always wanted to shake hands with. And me making this video might throw that opportunity to shake his hand and say thanks away, because, I mean, I assume that he'll probably see it, or someone will show this to him. Because Gary, if you ever see this, seriously, I went from 0 to 250K subs in a year because of you, because I read your book. But having said that, someone in a live stream said, what would you do if you lost your job, Josh? And then I thought to myself, I'd just go work for Gary V. On a whim, I Googled and I started looking at the careers and what the office was like at his company. So that video you just saw there was Gary's Chief Heart Officer giving people some emotional connection or something like that. What the hell is a Chief Heart Officer? Was that just HR?
I was understanding human behavior and how I could sell more toothpaste. I knew how I could sell more toilet paper. I understood how I could bring peace of mind to a mom in Italy with spaghetti sauce.
I don't understand why she exists. I don't understand why writing all of our feelings down matter and talking about how we can be one big happy family, because the company is not your family. Here's another guy in that same meeting talking about how I think it's our responsibility to make our work feel like home.
I put home for values because I think that, like, you talk about this a lot, that you want everyone to feel, when they come to work, feel like they're in a place that's comfortable for them, a safe space. Like, home, I feel like, is like a word that means a lot of these things. Like, it means empathy, it means inclusion, it means trust. Like, you go home and that's where you're safe. So
Yep.
I feel like we have a responsibility to, like, create a home here for people.
I think that's a very bad idea, to make work feel like home. There's a clear separation there, unless you're working at home. Here's another clip of the Chief Heart Officer going around the office and hugging people. You're the human resource lady. You're not supposed to hug people. You know better than that, especially the bigger the company, the more sites of lawsuits and stuff that you get, and you should know better than not to hug people. Any HR person would tell you that. You guys know that I'm a pretty big proponent of open offices being terrible. They're completely trash and they're very distracting. You got people's lunch smells wafting through the office. You got people throwing things through the office. You got people singing and chewing and whatever, and it's just annoying, and noise canceling headphones just don't work for that. Here's a clip of Gary V talking about how he wants to cram more people into an already pretty crammed space. He wants to go from 48 inches per person down to 36 inches per person.
Wait, there's 6 fucking people in a hell of a lot less space there than there is 12 here.
Their desks are the same width as each of these desks. 48 inches is the width of all of these desks.
Great. Make anybody associated directly with me get comfortable with 36 inches. You can squeeze everybody by Nick. Danny David, you have, how many inches does he have?
48 inches.
How many inches do you need of desk space, Danny David?
It's more.
How much?
16.
16, my man.
More than 16 inches there.
16.
No, he's getting 16.
Right, so then you have the company man here, Danny David, saying, I only need 16 inches of space to do my work for you, Gary, which is just like gargling Gary. Like, I never thought in a million years that Gary would be a huge fan of this corporate nonsense. And if it, like, instead of squeezing people in,
Wait, there's 6 fucking people in a hell of a lot less space there than there is 12 here.
maybe let them go work from home, or pick where they want to sit, or do whatever they want to do, and give them that autonomy. I have shared a desk before with that kind of space, and you end up bumping elbows. You set stuff on your desk, you have a keyboard and a mouse, and you're moving around, and you end up bumping people, and it's just not fun, and it's just, people need some space. So as I started to dive deeper into Gary Vaynerchuk's office, there's this other, I don't know, I guess it's some guy who has his own YouTube channel that works for Gary V, but he's just a dude, bro. that says macro uniformity and on the macro and on a level of macro. And he talks about how Gary Vaynerchuk's office is so unique because people have freedom and flexibility to express themselves. Like they get to name the meeting room, like this one's called an elephant.
Each now just has its own little thing, the individuality and how it leads to just kind of the macro uniformity of the whole company, which I think is just a common theme throughout Vayner in general. And it just made sense. And you can see now it's called Elephant. People are gonna like bring that stuff and like put it on the wall, and it's now part of Vayner, but it's theirs. And so that, again, back to like that individuality kind of turns into the macro uniform of the company. Little brick by brick by brick, one day at a time, that keeps adding to the macro of it.
I'm gonna assume this guy sat down in one of Gary's meetings one time and heard Gary say the word macro, and now that's literally that's all he can say. That's his total vocabulary on the macro uniformity and the macro and the micro levels, and it's like.
And even on the more macro of like Hudson Yards and like how we were one of the first people to move in, like we keep adding stuff to the walls, we keep doing things that just add a little more character to the company. On a macro, like.
What are you talking about?
These water fountains don't work at all. And when people are always like walking by and they're like, what's going on? Like, why do we have these water fountains? And now if you look, someone came by and put up like this, like, you know, I don't even know what it's called, but a museum kind of piece of like descriptive. And it says unknown artist, infinite drought, 2017. And just like gave like descriptions to like, like these, you know, water fountains are here that don't even work. And 99% of the company doesn't realize, but like if you like just take the time to like see it, and we saw it and we were like, who put that? No one even knows who the hell put that up there, but that person knows, right? And so that adds their layer to it and just gives it a little bit of owning
the water fountain doesn't
to
work.
the entire company, you know?
That my layer on the micro. That was my micro layer. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
And I noticed just even in here, it's exactly what it looks like on YouTube.
Right.
The energy, the feeling, like people smiling. People
There's no faking it at any point. Like it's really all cool. Like really real.
Yeah, it's like no faking it. It's just like on YouTube, it looks the same in person. Like, well, yeah, it's a video. As you can see, it's very dude bro kind of culture so far.
Everyone kind of started to like buzz a little bit, and then it was just really cool. We were all just so happy. People that hadn't met her before were confused, but knew that it was a special moment. So
I'm gonna show you a couple job posts that I found that are pretty recent, and to be honest, I was very disappointed at them. The creator. This position is first of its kind, entry-level position with an annual salary at $32K. $32K in New York City is basically minimum wage, $15 an hour in New York City. But look at the skills. Look at the skills. Skilled in streaming, AR, music, film, interactive, etc. You can design, you can edit, you can social media, SEO, and copyright, actual videography, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Creative Suite, design templates in Canva, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Live, etc. As a creator, because I do all of these things, this is 6 figures. This is easily 6 figures. The AR especially, AR, that's like development, that's coding. People that do AR right now make 6 figures by themselves. And you want that in addition to being able to make music. You want that in addition to being able to film, which is cinematography, sound design, editing, directing, writing a story. Those are all people's individual jobs as well. And he wants someone to do all of this. 40 hours a week. In the office. This is not a remote position. In the office for $32K. This is called the design resident. So this is just an intern. Design resident. Adobe Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects. Again, this is a design job. This is an editing job. This is a motion graphics job. These are 3 individual jobs as one job. 3D design ability. So 3D designer. We talking SolidWorks, we talking Blender, we talking Maya. Those are all someone's job. This is a dedicated job. Motion graphics, a dedicated job. Photo editing. That's a photographer job. Skilled creator for social media when using nothing but a phone. That's a videographer job. Photography, that's a job. Animation, that's a job. Rigging is someone's job. UI UX knowledge, that's someone's job. Now let's see how much money this pays. $15 an hour. So $15 an hour as a salary is $31,200 a year. That's $800 less than the full-time non-resident position that I was showcasing you previously. And you're doing the exact same thing pretty much as the other position was doing. It is our hope that all Team Gary residents grow within their role and eventually could find a place within our team or within the Gary Vaynerchuk media family. Your work is not your family. Your coworkers are not your brothers and sisters. The problem is that this money is low and it's undercutting the market because these skills are worth more, and you're devaluing the other people that are getting paid what they should be getting paid by saying it's okay to pay you this much. It's like for development and software. People take super cheap jobs that live in cheaper countries, which then devalues the whole market and brings the total compensation that everyone would normally get paid down. And the only way to counter that is, again, by having a brand. And I learned that from Gary Vee. Do they take the work because they say, I work for Gary Vaynerchuk, yo, at me, fam? It's like the people who work at Tesla or SpaceX. All of these companies are known for paying their employees less than the market rates because they get the clout. I'm genuinely curious why you would accept such little money to be able to do this, because it's not like it's entry level. Like it says you need experience to be able to do this. And this is a lot here that's worth a lot of money if you can successfully do all of these things. $32,000 in New York City, you would have to have 6 roommates. I know it's right next to New Jersey. I know you could drive over from New Jersey and work there and then drive back to New Jersey when you're done, and maybe it's cheaper in New Jersey. So after I saw these jobs, I went and I looked at Glassdoor to see some reviews of these jobs and what do other people think about working for him. Is it as culty as it looks? Is it as dude bro as it looks? They don't pay you what you're worth given the opportunity to work for Gary Vee. So there's one review confirming what I said. You get to work for Gary Vee, so you take shit pay. Hire less, pay more. Gary's strategy is to hire and fire really quick. And I don't have any problems with that, right? If you hire someone and they're not performing where you want them to perform and they're not expecting to give you what you want out of them from the employee-employer relationship, you fire them, right? They don't do their good work, you're fired, whatever. But he just has like a wheel that's turning and just pulling people in, spitting them out nonstop. And I'm going to assume he does this because he gets the most creative ideas out of that. If you bring lots of new people in all the time, you're going to get lots of new and fresh ideas, and that kind of keeps him on the leading edge of things. So I can understand that. The only benefit was the paycheck, and even that was low. Doesn't recommend, negative outlook, doesn't like Gary. Full-time salary and benefits. That's it. Those are the pros of working there. CEO, Gary's ego is seen absolutely everywhere. Rooms are named after his personal and random favorite things with seemingly no relevance to anything other than his whims. Art on the walls are cringy and out-of-touch motivational quotes from Gary. Good salary, no adults around, so hard to find accountability. That's true. If you go look at any of the day in the life of the office at Gary Vaynerchuk's company, you'll see just a bunch of young adults, pretty much. They preach culture, but the culture is more like a sorority than a business. I get that vibe too from watching it. Feels like a ton of people that were picked last growing up that now get to be popular and best friends. Chief Heart Officer is not a real thing or innovative. Here's another review. Fantastic company to start your career in media, but has underlying issues. There are too many bodies in such a tight space. It is very clear that Vayner's trying to grow and expand at a faster rate than it can handle. Increased budget cuts around the office are subtle, but definitely noticeable. Very few snacks compared to last year. Paper towels in the bathrooms can run out midday. Here's another one. Bit of a Gary Vee personality cult. There's some really talented people here, even if they're all 21 years old. It's an immature business run by people without experience of large-scale agencies, which rely too much on slogans and not enough on real-world experience. A room full of people reciting mottos like sheep doesn't make a strong team. Oof. Big oof. Now, there is a clip where Gary talks about how he thinks that free cereal on Tuesdays is stupid, and a foosball table is stupid, and free massages all day is stupid. They're just band-aids for bad companies.
You know, the foosball tables and the good cafeteria, the free, granola, I just think that's horseshit.
But then he also says, yeah, we have that at my company, but I'm not in charge of making those decisions.
They're nice, and we have them, but I'm not the one who's ever making that happen. That's other people in my company that decide those things.
So it'd be my question for Gary, like if you're aware that all of these things are BS and all these things are silly and stupid and they don't make people feel safe or make them feel empowered to do their job and motivate them more, then why do you do it? Is there some semblance in you that realizes that you're kind of buying them off with these little things? Because here's a clip where everyone's lined up to get food. The same food that you just said. I don't know why we're giving everyone free food, because that's just a band-aid.
This is Marcus.
Hello.
Marcus can give us a review of his food that he just got.
It looks really good, I'm really excited about it. I feel like a good variety,
They feel like safe and they feel like they can grow. That's the that matters. Not fucking free Cheerios on fucking Tuesday.
Now let me wrap up this video and say again, I like Gary Vee. I like his message about entrepreneurship and brand and leveraging different platforms for cheap attention, since that is the new currency of the world. As a content creator, I'm well aware of that, and so is he, and I would preach that, right? It's the same thing if you're making an app. You could have the greatest app in the world, but if you can't get attention to it, the app will die. Marketing is everything in 2020. That's all I'm saying. So again, I like you, Gary. I wouldn't want this video to take away my chances at shaking your hand and saying thank you. If you guys thought this video was thought-provoking or interesting, or you agreed with it or you disagree with it, let me know in the comments down below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I make videos about corporate cringe and BS business practices and people that try to take advantage of employees. If you're into that kind of stuff, maybe hit subscribe. Got some links down there in the description that help support the channel and keep me doing what I'm doing, make videos like these. And I'll see you guys in the next one.